it was crazy windy last night, but I had a pretty good, actually a pretty sheltered campsite. I mean, it was windy, but it wasn't like this. This is really, really windy. I hope you can hear me. I don't know if you can, but oh my gosh, it is windy. It's a little bit hard to walk against, honestly. That's why I'm just stopped and kind of trying to shelter the microphone. But anyway, yeah, pretty cool. I'm looking forward to getting out of the wind, though. It's cold. This is really awesome hiking. I'm loving this. I'm off the high ridge, so the wind is much more reasonable here. But it's just, it's basically the same landscape I was walking through yesterday, just on the other side of the ridge. But, you know, instead of being all sunny and cheerful and magnificent, it is grim and foreboding and, I don't know, Wuthering Heights-esque, I guess. But yeah, it is so cool, like right off to my right. Probably, let me see if this shows up. But just seeing this fog bank roll in, and yeah, I mean the landscape is just absolutely spectacular, and it's like there's not a soul up here. I mean, there are cows, so obviously there are people tending them. It's somewhere, but man, it is so cool up here. It's like if you like the Hospitalis route on the Camino Primitivo, you will love this. So just some practical information on doing this. Again, as I mentioned, you're starting in Oviedo, and for me, it took me 4 days to get to the place that I camped right at the turnoff, right before Besullo. And I'm doing generally 30 kilometers a day, but when I did that route from Oviedo, I think the first day I only did about 15 because it was a half day. I do have videos of that, Camino Primitivo videos, so it would just be days 1 to 4. And then from there, you are hiking on the GR-109, the Camino Natural de la Corias Cantabrica, stages 24 to 13. So if you go on that website I talked about, it's turismoasturias.es, or you could just Google GR-109 Asturias and get right there. You can go into each individual stage and download the GPX tracks, so it says download KML. And I think you definitely want to have GPX tracks out here. It could be definitely confusing. There are a lot of waymarks that have been knocked over by cows, you know, scratching themselves. And then the waymark kind of becomes useless because you can't necessarily tell which way it's pointing or was pointing. So you're, again, stages 24 to 13. They number their stages from east to west. So you're going sort of opposite the way they've numbered them. And then at Campomanes, then you're getting on the Camino de San Salvador and just doing like 40 kilometers. So say 2 days probably for that. So yeah, it's 4 days for me, doing about 30 kilometers a day on full days. 4 days on the Camino Primitivo, 8 days on the GR-109 to get to Campomanes, and then 2 days to get back to Oviedo on the Camino de San Salvador. So a total of 14 days. I mean, I really think this is the perfect loop hike that incorporates the Camino Primitivo. You're going with pilgrims for 4 days, you're getting that experience, and then you're getting, I mean, what to me is a magnificent experience on the GR-109, and then you're joining the pilgrims on the Camino de San Salvador back to Oviedo. So you get really an incredible sampling of what Spain has to offer in just 2 weeks. And I really do think it's the perfect loop hike so far. And you could do this whole thing without camping out. I mean, I camp out because it gives, well, for a number of reasons, I don't need to go into them, but of course it'd be very easy on the Camino Primitivo and on the Camino de San Salvador, because they have places to stay, bajillion places all over the place, albergues and places to stay. But as far as I know, the GR-109 is set up in such a way that it ends wherever it ends. There's accommodation. So you're not going to have a giant choice of accommodations, and they're not going to be like albergue style, because so few people do this. But there is accommodation at the end of each stage, at least according to the website. So yeah, I'll get back to you on that. But yeah, I think you can definitely do this. You'd have less flexibility in terms of how far you go, because you'd be dependent upon doing the stages with the lengths that they recommend. So sometimes, of course, that makes the stages longer and then you're going to want, and sometimes it makes the stages shorter than you're going to want. But if camping out is not your thing, it is definitely possible to do it the other way. And if it isn't, I will let you know. Well, I came across the first accommodation possibility. We are 3 kilometers from Besullo, which is the end of the stage, in a town called Pomar de las Montañas. Pomar or Pomar. The spelling depends on, I guess, there's like an Asturias spelling and then there's a Spanish spelling. But Pomar or Pomar, and the website is hotelruralpomar.com. If you're interested in looking that up, it seemed very nice. I just got a Coca-Cola there and talked to the owner a little bit, but very nice place, very quiet, and there's really nothing around. Stream, you can hear a stream maybe in the background. It looks like they have horses, you can go horseback riding, and there's a lot of hiking trails around, and yeah, hotel and a bar, restaurant, and yeah, look really good. So I think I could recommend that place. So yeah, 3 kilometers before Besullo. This walk in the valley from Puma to Besullo, the end of the stage, just beautiful. It's such an easy walk, and it's so pleasant. There's somebody with a chainsaw up here, but besides that, yeah, just so pleasant. I had a cool conversation with an Asturian woman back in Puma, and she said exactly the same word that I thought about, is that it's just a more authentic experience, I think, when you're going to places that aren't catering to tourists or catering to pilgrims. It really is a different feel. And then I came across 3 guys. They were coming up from the river, I thought that they had been fishing, but they were beekeepers. So a little conversation about beekeeping, and pretty cool. So Besullo, which I am currently leaving, it didn't have a market, food market, and it didn't seem to have any accommodation, but it did have a restaurant, which was closed, and it had a bar, which was open, and the bar I got a big thing of bread from the bar and ice cream, and they had a few other little things, but you wouldn't want to count on resupplying there unless you really like bread. The bread was good. The bread is good, and it'll be enough bread to probably last me for a week. It's a huge loaf of bread. Besullo seems to be most famous for being the birthplace of a famous writer, Spanish writer, playwright, I think, whom I haven't heard of, but that's not surprising. It was also the home of the first congregation of Protestants in all of Asturias, founded in 1871. But a very charming little town, seemingly untouched by time, actually. It's kind of cool. I just passed through, I think, an incredibly picturesque mountain town perched on a hillside with extremely steep streets called, I think, Irondo de Besullo. It's about an hour uphill from Besullo. Yeah, let me show you a picture. Gorgeous, I think. quick tip, there is really no water you can rely on from Besullo all the way to Corias. So make sure you take enough. I did not take enough. I am tired, I am thirsty, but there you have it. Live and learn. Hopefully that will be a good information for you if you decide to do it. So it is the morning of day 3, but I just wanted to finish up with the day 2 video. I'm just checking which way to go. Yeah, so having no water all the way to Corias was tough. So I did end up having to go further than I intended. So I went to Corias and resupplied a little bit. Full service town with an absolutely monstrous monastery. I mean, it looked amazing, but yeah, they definitely have places to stay and places to resupply. And so I resupplied with water, got a couple of bananas, and had to keep going to find a campsite. And so it wasn't the absolute best campsite because it was really coming up on dark. I didn't have a lot of time to pick anything nice, but yeah, I'm just looking around a lot to see where I'm going. But yeah, it was cool. It was a cool day. I mean, the first half of the day was amazing, but then as you start to get low on water, things get less amazing as you're thinking about drinking. Yeah, I'm kind of halfway in between. I'm halfway in between Corias and the next town, Vainas, something like that. And so I'm going to be hitting that town very soon. So if there's anything interesting to report, I'll let you know. So take care for day 2 and God bless.